Hi, I'm Anthony Rodriguez, and this is a part of my presentation slash essay paper, knowing how kind of 1984 has stayed in tune with modern day media, whether that be political cartoons, memes nowadays, or even music. And this is specifically the Dead Kennedy song "California Über Alles." And the reason I wanted to do this on video was to you can hear the song, but also I can give a more in-depth explanation in person. This is something that I feel I have a great background on because I'm a huge fan of punk rock music, and ever since my dad got me interested, I kind of really looked into the lyrics, and you can hear the raw emotion behind the chords, the strums, and the music, and the yelling and the singing. So overall, it's going to be a good time. Let's play that song right now, and then we'll get back and we'll decipher it. Hey, welcome back. So for the most part, the song, you get raw emotion, you hear the yelling, you hear the screaming, you hear the singing, and I think it all comes together. And what people don't recognize is there's music around us all the time where it might say something towards someone else's ideals. You may not necessarily agree with it, but you're gonna keep listening to it because it's music. And I think music is a powerful form of expression, and probably one of the most powerful ways to get propaganda across, aside from books and movies. And I think the fact that he incorporated 1984, at the time, political punk was a huge genre. You had the Ramones later on in the later 80s talk about President Reagan. And, before that, you had people talking about Nixon. So I think in general, music was always there, and people were just like, yeah, I'm going to follow what they said because the music's kick ass. So I think for the most part, you hear all of this music and people shy away from what they're wanting to feel, or regardless of what it is, and they get forced and they're gravitated towards what the author or the artist is saying, because the music is right. And I think at the end of the day, it just shows how music is such a powerful form of propaganda. And I think if they made 1984 into its own song, David Bowie had his own song regarding 1984, and people love David Bowie, and people were just going to listen to it and they agree to what he says. So I think at the end of the day, music is a huge impact when it comes to propaganda. And in the song, you hear knock, knock, 1984 coming to your door. And it's just like, oh, what? Well, let me look up 1984. And boom, you get people reading the book. You get people seeing, like, okay, I can see some similarities here, some similarities there. And they connect the two together, read the book, and then boom, the whole cycle starts over again. And then you get another propaganda, whether it's music, whether it's political cartoons. I think it just comes together. And I think overall, that's what really emphasizes the song from the Dead Kennedys, California Über Alles, even though it was towards Governor Jerry Brown at the time, who is now independent, which I think nowadays this song wouldn't necessarily go to him. But I think overall, if they redid the song, a lot of, President Trump probably would get a lot of criticism for this. And even, when I display in the paper how, they make connections between 1984 and Donald Trump, I think it's just astonishing to see how it just keeps going in a cycle and a cycle and a loop. And I don't think this cycle is going to break anytime soon. So that is my description of California Über Alles, along with, setting aside the details of how powerful music is in propaganda.